We good to go? We got sound on that one? Okay. All right, cool.
Still up? A mark. B mark. Is that C and D mark?
Okay, here we are. All right. Yo, what's, that's not how I started. I got it. Okay, here we go. Yo, what do they call me? They call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Yeah, they call me Devin Zoolander. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And I look good on camera. You know I look good on camera. Yo, what's up? It's your homie, Devin Zoolander, coming all the way live from where? The August Wilson Center, day 3, the final day of the inaugural 3-day festival called Hooks Phonics. And I'm so happy because to close out our festival, we have some legends in the building. The name is Slum Village, representing for the D, Detroit's music scene. I'm here with my new friends. We have T3 and we have young RJ. How are you doing?
We good.
How are you doing today?
We good.
You know Slum Village is fantastic.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right. Of course, I get it. I see what you're doing there, brother. Right. Aha. Yes. All right. So, first I want to say thank you because I consider y'all to be hip hop heroes. I think that it's important for us to make sure that for those of y'all that are making that really good, soulful music that's creative, that's witty, whether you're talking about social issues that are going on in our community, if you're talking about getting ladies, whatever it is, you're talking about getting money, I love the way that your mind works. I love the way that your mind works as a producer, and you as a producer as well. So just want to welcome you to Pittsburgh.
Thanks, man. We happy to be here in Pittsburgh, man, for sure.
All right.
Let's go.
So we are here this weekend to celebrate and honor the legendary J Dilla. So I want you to just share a couple insights about what it was like to work with J Dilla and why is he so important to hip hop today?
What it was like. Let me say this. Working with Dilla was like working with a friend that was a mad scientist. So you're looking at a mad scientist. So, I mean, we had our ups and downs, but it was never like nothing like that. Because let me give you an instance. I used to, Dilla be like, come to the house, man. We about to work on some songs, da-da-da-da-da. Then I show up to his door, and then he don't answer the door.
Man.
Now, mind you, I walked a good 10 minutes to get to his house.
Right.
But you know what? The music was so good, I didn't even care.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I said, okay, I'll come back. And I came back, and we made great, beautiful music every single time.
Yeah.
And the thing that he brought to the game was creativity. You could talk to a lot of artists who are inspired by Dilla, but for me, for us, it was about bringing something new to the game. Mm-hmm. And not just saying that, because everybody say, I'm bringing something new to the game. But his shuffle of his drums and how just that alone showed drummers a different way, because he was programming like a drummer, which means he didn't quantize and do all that. Mm-hmm. He was playing as a groove, as a real groove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've heard people refer to it as a swing.
Yes, a real swing, though.
Right.
So that alone, what he did, not also inspiring the whole neo soul movement and all that. So Dilla's great.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you, first of all, for saying that, because one of the things I think about when I think about J Dilla is the song Running by the Far Side. And I think about how, and we talked about Kanye a little bit off camera, one of the reasons why I appreciate him so much in totality as an artist is because he made a fan like me pay attention to the origins and the creative process. So how do you take this obscure sample and flip it into something cool. And I think about J Dilla, how he takes this bossa nova track that I'm sure most people haven't heard of, and he finds dun 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 dun, and he finds that, and he turns it like what you talking about with the swing and everything. I think that's amazing. So I'm glad to hear that even though there were some ups and downs, that when he finally got to it, he just made magic.
Yes, always. Well, the story on that track, Jay laughing. The story on that track is this. This is what Dilla used to do. Dilla wanted me to make beats as well, just to get some of the work off of him or whatever. So what I used to do, we would work in the studio, and then it'd be like 1 a.m. And he was like, well, go ahead, T3, work. I'm going to bed. And he would go upstairs in the house, and I'd just sit there, and I'd just go through his records, make beats, and I'd leave them up and see if he liked it. Right, so on one of those nights, I found a running sample. And I made a beat. It wasn't like Dilla's beat, but it was the sample.
Gotcha.
So I left it up like I always do.
Yeah.
And then the next day he was like, "Man, you know I flipped that joint that you
Wow.
you know what I'm saying?" So that's how that
That's
came
amazing.
about with the whole running thing, because he used to leave me in the studio for hours. So I used to go through his records and just come up with mad stuff. So that's how that came about. But yeah.
Well, allow me to give you your flowers as a creative.
That's all I love. It's all
because
love.
that's mad amazing. Because to me, I don't know how many people know that story. I know I never heard that, and I appreciate you saying that, because it's not about telling the whole story. Isn't about trying to slight somebody else's creation, but at the same time, it does help to have the context of how Dilla kept so many great people around him, like iron sharpens iron,
Right.
that he could have a T3,
Yes.
you start something, and then he takes it to another universe.
Yeah, definitely. He definitely took it to another. My beat was a little sloppy. It was the drums wasn't crispy like that. But yeah, it was the loop though.
The loop.
The loop.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? But we used to have jam sessions like that where we would listen through samples together.
Yeah.
Me, Ten, and Dilla, and we would just pick stuff like, oh, that sounds sweet, and do stuff like that. And we used to ride around with just listening to loops, without even making beats out of them.
What I think is really fascinating about y'all and people in that whole, I'm not trying to group everybody together, but when I think about Slum Village and Little Brother and A Tribe Called Quest and De La Soul, the thing that I see that is consistent with all of your groups is that even the rappers that aren't actually producing the records, they have some kind of inclination for musicality. They understand what sounds good. They understand the roots. You can name it. Like Black Thought isn't Questlove, but Black Thought, he can still sing in addition to rapping. So he's going to be able, when he hears something, he can actually give you feedback. So how about young RJ, I want to get your thoughts on some things. Okay. As a producer coming into this legendary group, I want you to tell me about what was that transition like to go from I'm seeing the group, maybe I'm around the group, to now I'm in here and I'm cutting records. Tell me about what it was like for you to join Slum Village.
Well, that started during Volume 2. You know what I'm saying, as far as coming in and contributing. So, before that, as a kid, 6 years old, I was around. It was just like looking at your big brothers, which is why it all is a family thing. So once it got to a certain point, Dilla stepping in and saying, hey, this is, let me show you some stuff on the machine, because they laughed at my beats when I first played them. He showed me stuff, and he would come in and be like, yo, okay, what you got now? All right, this is how you do this, and this. He would come back again, like, okay, let me see what you did with what I showed you last time. This is how you do this, and this. And he was kind of like, it seemed like T was saying, like he was kind of preparing us for him to say, all right, y'all got it from here. I'm out.
Yeah.
If you need me, call me. I'm here. So, it was kind of like that. So it was an easy transition for me. It was a lot of pressure on me and T, because T more so than me, because it's like now he's the face of Slum Village. So it was like whatever I can do to come in to contribute, whether it's producing drums, the ghost producing, whatever it was. I did what I needed to do to keep the legacy and the brand together.
Well, we truly appreciate that because it's never easy when we lose a legend like Dilla or rest in peace to Bateen too, and just anyone that has ever helped y'all and that for whatever reason might not be here. It's a lot to walk into because how about this, T3, what I'm thinking of as I'm talking about your legacy is just that y'all could be terrible, but the name Slum Village is so fire. So how did y'all create that name? What's the story behind the name Slum Village?
Well, it's so random. It's so 1989. We was just looking through a dictionary, just putting two different words together. Just as random as that. That's how random we came up with our names. And then later on, we made it make sense. We was like, okay, slum, like we from the inner city, but village is kind of like, so it was kind of like saying we was bringing two different worlds together. Like if you listen to a Slum Village song, you might hear a smooth beat, but you're going to hear aggressive lyrics. The stuff we're not talking about ain't what you think we're going to talk about. Or to be the opposite. The beat to be rugged, and we'll be talking about a lady on it. You know what I'm saying? So it was the contradiction of what really Slum Village is. You know, it's like you can't be from the city and from the country at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically what we were saying with Slum Village. So it was just random, but it stick, and we kept it because the first name we had before that was Cinepod, which was a dumb name.
Yeah, I read that. I was like, what the hell? It's like, what the hell is
Well,
that?
that was dopeness spelled backwards. We was like, ooh, we so deep. You know?
See, man, you know what? That messed me up. That messed me up the same way when I learned that Harpo was Oprah spelled backwards. I was like, okay. I forgot what the name of that is when you flip the word in reverse, but that's...
Yeah, no.
You tried.
Yeah. So that didn't stick. No.
That didn't stick, but Slum definitely stuck. And I appreciate your explanation of that because I think that it is true that y'all rhyme about really aggressive things. And I think what is interesting is it is over really smooth beats that play into that neo-soul type of feel. And I think it's really interesting because one of the things that I wonder about when I hear y'all or I hear Little Brother or some of these other groups that are considered quote unquote conscious is that we just kind of put that on everybody based on the sound of the music. So sonically, we think it's conscious, and not to say that y'all aren't smart, intelligent brothers.
We're not conscious rappers. We're not.
Exactly.
We're the contradiction. We are that. So when you hear Slum Village song, don't think we're gonna talk about uplifting the people. You know, we love our people, but that's not our song. That's not our songs.
Right.
You know, and that's a lane for that. We don't want to be in somebody else's lane. I'm not Talib Kweli. That's Kweli. That's Mos.
Common.
This Slum Village.
This Slum Village.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even they was able to respect that. Like, you know, I like y'all because y'all don't care. Y'all just say what y'all want to say.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I remember one of the members of De La Soul told me that. He said, man, you gave me the courage to want to rap. The DJ, Maceo. He said, you gave me the courage to want to rap in the group because I thought I couldn't rap in the group because they was always talking about conscious stuff all the time. So I didn't think a group like us could do that. But when I heard Slum Village, I was like, oh, I can pull this off. Now I can. And that's when you heard Maceo start rapping on the songs.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? So we was able to inspire a lot of people to just do what you do. You know, we from Detroit. It's Player City. It's Detroit.
Right.
You know,
right.
We just so happen to we got an eclectic music taste, you know, but we are Detroiters, you know.
Yeah, and as Detroiters, and when you're talking about Hitsville, Motown, when you're talking about the whole scene all the way up to now where you have a T Grizzly or going back before him, you have whether it's is Dej Low from there?
Dej Low.
Dej Low, Big Sean, Eminem, Royce, the 5'9". Yeah.
And just think about that. It's all like different sounds. It ain't even, nobody sounds like, Eminem don't sound like T Grizzly, who don't sound like Slum Village,
right? Who
don't sound like Royce the 5'9". It's just like all over the place.
But I guess what it is that, you know what it is? And I thank you for your explanation of it, because what I see is that as human beings, we always want to categorize things because we're lazy and we don't feel like looking at nuance and being like, well, some of the beats, some of the instrumentation might mirror a Tribe Called Quest, but what they're saying is different. It's from the perspective of being from the slums. And I think what happens a lot with y'all, in my humble opinion, is that people fixate on the village part, but they ignore the slum part.
Right.
And if you listen to the
True.
slum part, if I'm in the slum, I'm not going to be rhyming about being in a library and leading protests and all that. If I'm in the slum, then I'm trying to survive.
Right.
So my content is going to be different.
Correct. Yes, this is true.
Yeah.
That's a nice observation, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate that because it's real easy to categorize people, but to advance the conversation forward, I want to talk about the song Tainted, because who was that? Was that Soft Cell? The
Yes.
Tainted Love.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that one back in the 80s. So I love that song. But then when y'all come through, I got to say that I don't know what is going on at the beginning of that beat, because since I found out that y'all was coming, like I probably play. I like Selfish is my song too, but Tainted is right there with neck and neck with Selfish. And like, what is that beat? The drum or what is that?
That's a wood block. Yes, that's a wood block, right?
Yes.
We can tell you how that song came about. So what happened was this. I was already obsessed with 80s. I was going through my 80s rock phase, and I loved that song.
Yep.
That and Jenny 8675309. Yes, I was obsessed with 80s rock at that time. And Kareem Riggins, he was like, "Man, I got your single," and I was like, "For real?" So I came over to his crib. I listened to it. The beat was playing at first. It was just duh, duh. I said, okay, it got some swag on it, but it didn't have a lot going on.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
but
right.
I thought, I said, okay, it's dope. He said, man, trust me, this is gonna be your single. I was like, okay. And then so I started. The first time I did the record, I didn't write no lyrics. I just sung "Tainted Love" to the beat.
Yeah.
Real, because like I said, I was obsessed with that.
Yeah.
So I did the first version of the hook with me actually singing
Okay,
on it
instead of
before
Dwele.
we got Dwele.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I did that part. And then after I did that, I heard it, and it sounded kind of good. And then I brought it to the studio, J and them to check it out. And then I ended up doing my verse.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I can't sing this. I got to get a real singer to sing this.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying? And then that's when we decided, like, okay, let's get Dwele. Because we was already working with Dwele, you know, sort of
Right.
kind of, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that came about. And then once I had my verse and Dwele sung the hook, man, it was
over.
it was done basically after that. You know what I'm saying?
RJ, I would like to ask you. So you've already let us know that even though you joined the group later, you've always been around the group. So as you see your big brothers creating Tainted, what is going on in your head right now?
I'm like, first of all, T wasn't sure about the record. Let's just keep it.
I'm never sure.
He was like, for real? Like, this it? And everybody was like, yeah, that's it. And then, but the thing about T is, if you say that's it, he gonna be like, all right, then that's it.
Right.
So, it was like, all right, well, we got this, and all this random stuff is happening because the album was supposed to be one way, and then it turned out being another. And I'm just like, okay, now what you need me to do? You know what I'm saying? All right, well, put some drums on this, do that. You know what I'm saying? I was in learn mode. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I was happy. You know what I'm saying? That we could show everybody that we could do it without Dilla. You know what I'm saying? Behind the boards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all did it.
Yeah, and T was able to assemble a cast of people to come in and support him for us to pull off, you know what I'm saying, the Trinity album.
Yeah, by the grace of God.
For sure.
Highly impressive.
Yeah, because I was not sure about that either. But stuff started coming together. Once you start working, sometimes things just magnetize together. You know, the Black Milk and the Kareem, and then Jay coming in and really producing on the album, and you know what I'm saying. It just all kind of came together at one time. You know what I'm saying.
Well, I definitely appreciate that because it's just. Because first of all, Dwele's voice is mesmerizing. You know you have because this is with respect to the verses. The verses are fire. Like everybody's verses are fire. But then the fact, you can't underscore enough the importance of a really good hook. And the fact that I think Dwele's whole vibe, and you could tell me because y'all from Detroit if that's kind of reminiscent of how Detroiters are, but just the fact that he's so nonchalant and chill. I think what I love about this song is that he sings it as if I'm walking around the house and a song gets stuck in my head, I can't get out. He sings it as if he's getting up in the morning, and I could see like even with a new video, I could see like that knock is kind of like the alarm clock, and something's going on, and you're feeling it, and you walk down to the refrigerator and everything, and he's just looking for the leftover potato salad. He's just like, real love, true love, tainted love. And he's just doing that because it's just something that you can sing absent-mindedly. So that is genius.
Yes, that is. And he does have a way of just floating on tracks. You know what I'm saying? Which was dope.
Which is important because I gotta tell you, man, some people, they don't know how to let the track breathe. They don't know. It's like all right, we got 3 fire verses right here. We got a killer beat. Like, you don't have to sound like Luther Vandross right here. You don't have to do too much. You don't have to always be Beyonce, with all due respect to those people, because they're highly talented. But it's like sometimes you can just like let it kind of live right there. And the fact that it's kind of like in the ambiance as opposed to overpowering the track is part of the magic.
Right, yeah. Yeah, we believe in that in all our records. You know, we don't do too much. Yeah, simplify. Yeah, we believe in that. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Well, I thank you for taking me behind the scenes on what it was like to make that song right there. Now I have to get to the song "Selfish" because, like we said when we were off camera, is that song was so special to me because I'm learning who Kanye is. I'm hearing songs that are produced by him, but the world wasn't really familiar with him. He was just in the background while everybody else on Rockefeller, they were the ones that were being pushed. And then he comes out, he has that magic year in 2004, and this song "Selfish" comes out. And like I said, once you take an Aretha Franklin sample and you get a creative genius like Kanye with you, with Elzhi, with everyone, and then John Legend. You're just gonna have John Legend in there. It's just crazy. So just take me through, how did y'all come up with "Selfish"?
Yo, you want to start the story up?
I mean, I was the Kanye fan. All right, I had the mixtape albums, the bootleg albums, all of that. I'm like, Kanye next. You know what I'm saying? So they like, oh, okay, all right, cool. T3 runs into Kanye in L.A., BET Awards, and he like, T, you my favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get you on my album. T3 goes up, and he listens to all these records, Jesus Walks, all of these, etc. You know, he like, I gotta get y'all on there. T like, all right, send the record. Time goes by. T just couldn't get the record done because he had so much going on. Yeah. We turn around, we like, all right, we working on Detroit Deli. We need, who we going to get? I'm like, we got to go get Kanye. So they fly, all of us fly out to L.A. We come in the studio. He got one beat, just one. This is it. This y'all single. His play. Certain people was like, is it? I don't know about this, man. We might need to change. And can he give us another beat? We like, nah, that's it. T immediately starts writing on the hook with Kanye and John Legend. They put the hook down. Kanye sitting there on the drum machine because they told him I produce. He like, yeah, watch what I do to this. And he just put a little bongo slap in or something. And I'm like, hey, I know you gon' rap on this, right? He like, you think I should? I'm like, yeah, you should. Okay. He immediately runs in the booth, puts his verse down. He done.
Yeah.
T like, I need a little time to write on it. T goes, he writes like half of it there, and then he comes back the next day, knocks it out. L took about 2 days to write, and Kanye was busy, so they was like, you go upstairs with Elzhi in the studio upstairs and make sure it's right. And then when we had it done, he came in and was like, yeah, that's it. Cool. We mixed it. Kanye was shooting his Pepsi commercial. He wasn't even at the mix. So it was me, T, and the mix engineer in there.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? That's how the record came about. Next thing you know, it's video time.
What was funny though, this is the funny part. When you go in the studio, John Legend there, you like, who is this guy?
Word. Yeah, who are you?
And he was like, well, this is my artist. This is my, this is my new artist. You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, if you say this your artist, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was pretty much open about the whole situation. Cause I was just like, it's Kanye. I'm ready to work. You know what I'm saying? So it was easy. Also, he forgot the part to tell you, when Kanye was doing his verse, he was rapping it outside. Like, yeah, check this out. A ballin'. He was performing like he was on stage or something. He was selling it.
Yeah.
He was selling it.
He was selling it.
And he said, we gonna do the hook like this. He was singing it. And then John Legend would come in and sing behind her. Like, yeah, he was there. And that's when I came up with the Maybe on Self, the chant. That's the part That's the part I came up with.
I want you
so,
to myself, I can't help it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was a vibe, man. It was Kanye. It was Kanye.
Man.
Early Kanye.
And you know what? That was the button-up era.
Yes, that was the button-up polo.
Right, the jeans.
Bright color polos. Sweaters.
We wearing jeans.
The suit jackets.
Yup, with the blazers.
The blazers.
Yep.
Yes.
It don't even got to match at all. You just put it on and it worked.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
To the story, but we got to say that for the document.
Okay, that's cool. Well, I greatly appreciate that, man, because that song is a classic. Now, what I also want to ask you about might be a more challenging topic. So when you go to Apple Music, let's say I type in Slum Village, the number one song I'm going to see is Selfish. I'm going to see a couple more songs, then maybe Climax might be here later, and then I'm going to see Tainted. But I want to know, as people who you have your lane that you've existed in and thrived in for a long time, but what about, how do you feel if people only know you for one song? Does that impact you at all, or how do you deal with that?
Not really, because I don't feel like that. Like when we do our shows, people mostly know us for a body of work. So they probably know, let's say the majority of the audience know the majority of Volume 2. Mm-hmm. So that's 12 records. You know what I'm saying? That people are chanting, knowing every word. Plus, occasionally we do a new single and people catch on to that. So I don't think we ever had that problem where it was just like, just do Selfish and go. I don't think we ever had that problem.
Nah.
Like, we've been doing shows for 20 years.
Right.
I think it's just a thing of, if you're a real fan, you know what I'm saying, then you know the body of work. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not a fan and you just know Selfish, then that's cool too. We appreciate that too. But, the people that's coming to them shows is rocking is like day one fans. And then now it's getting to the point where it's like, my dad played y'all music all the time. We seeing 12-year-old kids in the crowd rapping the lyrics. Yeah, sure. So it then got to that point.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I wanted to ask y'all that because obviously I'm confident y'all been doing this for years, so y'all know how to handle all kinds of questions. The reason why it's important for me is because on the one hand, while I acknowledge that your fans are going to know the whole body of work, or even if they know one album, they're going to know that album really well. I think sometimes what some people do to people that, and this is not y'all in this category, but what we try to do is we try to malign and demean people that are viewed as one-hit wonders when you don't know how hard it was to make that one thing. So it's not that you're only known for that, but I do think it's cool that if that is what gets people to you, that's kind of dope to me.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing with one-hit wonders, though. I wouldn't necessarily be mad if I was a one-hit wonder. Because if you are really had a hit, like a super duper hit, people are that you can still eat off that one song for your whole life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends on how big that one hit is. I kind of wouldn't even be mad. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I can just go do this one song. How much? 20 grand? All right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Depends on the record. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And there's some people who really was able to live off that one hit. Now, if you got that one hit and then it's just like, they don't ever want to see you again, that's different.
That's different.
That's a whole different way of being.
And I think the other thing, too, about your music is that it's not based on one hit. Yours is based on an entire movement, a culture.
Yeah,
you have a whole city, a whole neighborhood in Detroit on your back, so you know that you have things to say. Whereas I think maybe if you're more of a quote unquote plant, whatever that means, then it could be a situation where you do your one hit that you had 1 million people help you write. It's not really authentic to who you are, and then when people want more, you can't give it to them. So
I know that people go in the studio and they'll take, as long as you can rap and hold a beat, you go in there with the right producer, they giving you the whole song. There is no thinking for you to do. And some people are bringing you the whole album and saying, just rap these lyrics and take your pictures and we'll see you at the video shoot. So, you know, that's the reason why you see people not able to do it again. They can't get the same writers. They can't get the same producers in there. And then they just be stuck. So, yeah, I would call that a plant.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that answer, just because I understand why people. I think what's great about y'all is that even if people only do know 1 or 2 songs, because y'all are great performers and y'all going to interact with the crowd, you're going to make sure that you're present, that you're not thinking about what you got to do tomorrow. You're not thinking about all the other stuff that you got going on, or your taxes, whatever. You're thinking about this moment right now. I'm going to win this audience. So I think that's why they stay. So I appreciate that. To move along a little bit further, I guess I just want to know, how do y'all continue to, what keeps you going? Because you've been doing this for 20 years. Obviously, you can eat off of your albums of the past. You can eat off of the tradition of being Slum Village. But I know that you continue to make new music. So what motivates you to keep going?
What motivates you, Jay?
Okay. Now this is my thing. As long as I can make sure, I want to make sure my parents have nothing to worry about.
Got you.
And we getting close to that point. Okay. I want to make sure my big brother T3 never has anything to worry about. You know what I'm saying? So that's my motivation to keep going. It's more so about making sure everybody is straight, making sure by 10 and Dilla is represented. You know what I'm saying? And to keep the legacy going. We the first hip-hop group that you've seen that had multiple members in and still be relevant today. Still top 50 hip-hop groups of all time. You know what I'm saying? So we broke the mold. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. So as long as we breaking the mold and we keeping Slum Village, the name and the brand and all the members, you know what I'm saying, in the forefront, I'm good with that.
Right. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up. He answered it pretty well.
He did.
I wouldn't have answered it like that, but that was good. I like that. It's true. Yeah.
I appreciate that, man, because I think also, so I also wonder this, because I look at y'all as not just rappers, I look at y'all as artists. Like when y'all create a concept, and the fact that y'all are so hands-on with the beats, it's not a situation where young RJ is over here and he walks up to T and it's like, yo, man, rap on this. And you just like, all right, cool. And it's just like that. Like I like that it's a synergy there. Yeah. But I think sometimes what can happen is that you can call them hip hop purists, but I think some people can be like, well, you know, y'all about the art and all this kind of stuff, but they forget that this is also the music business. Do you ever run into that situation where fans, because fans are entitled, do you ever feel like there might be some people that don't understand that you're here to make money as well as to execute your art at a high level?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? Me personally, I don't think about the money at all. The reason why I'm making music today is because, one of the reasons why is because what I hear in the market right now, it's a lot of the same stuff over and over again. So I'm like, you know what? If I got the opportunity to do this and still make a livelihood for myself, then I'm going to do it. And when me and Jay in the studio, I'm not thinking about, yeah, this is going to be a hit. I'm thinking about what can we do differently that's going to satisfy us and be like, so for the purest music person. So if I like it and Jay like it, it's going to be good. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So that's what I think. Now the money part, of course I have to make a living, but you know, I've been touring for 20 years, so I've been making a living doing the music. You know what I'm saying? there's also levels to that. You can go up and down, you know, depending on the market. But back to what I'm saying, I do it because I just really just love what I'm doing, and there's a lot of whack stuff out there, and I got the opportunity to do it, especially in this time. It's wild, wild west out here, so you really could just do you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I like that. That's what I do like about today's time. Now, I was more pressure when you had the labels and they didn't put their money up and they looking at you and they saying, okay, where are the hits at?
Yeah.
Now that's when the pressure come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So right now it's more fun more than anything.
More fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I appreciate that, man, just because I think it's really important for people to understand that it's like Slum Village, like that dichotomy, like two things can be true. It can be true that we have this village behind us and we have people that support us that are positive, and we can represent the best of Detroit as far as, okay, we got the professionals, we got the professors, we got all these people that support us and that represent this part of Detroit, but we also got the slums too. And I think that sometimes as we get lazy and we want you to be one thing.
Yes.
And that's why I appreciate your answer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So now we're here today at the Hooks Phonics Festival. We're here to pay tribute to the Detroit music scene as well as your brother, J Dilla. And I want you to know, for anyone who's never been to Detroit, describe Detroit or try to describe Detroit in 3 words. Or 2 words, or 1 word, whatever word.
Ghetto. Pimpin'. Classy. It's all over the place. It's a melting pot. You can go get fine dining or you can be at Coney Island. You can get shot or you can walk down the Riverwalk and enjoy yourself and watch the fireworks.
For some reason, when you said you could get shot, in my hype man brain, I thought he was like, or you can get hot. I thought that was coming next, but it's cool though. It's cool. That was me up here, but it's cool though.
So I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's the vibe to work. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes Detroit special. You know, it's blue collar. You know what I'm saying? Hard-working people. So we always got to go above and beyond. You know, we didn't have no music labels in Detroit. We had, after Motown, they moved to L.A. Yeah. We had to do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes Detroit so great, is the energy that they give you. And when they love you forever. Look at how many times Jeezy come to Detroit a year. Right. He there almost every month.
I'm even thinking about Detroit, and I didn't mean to step on your response, but I just thought about because I think what's interesting is when I think about drill music, and I think about this, I think about how pervasive it is throughout hip hop as far as a lot of people are doing, because now you got New York drill, and I'm thinking about how you have Chicago drill, and you have, I don't know, what is T Grizzlies? We got a new style in Detroit. I call it the run on, where they kind of like slightly ahead of the beat.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They got that style. So I call it the run on sentence, but it really don't have a name for say. But yeah, it's a lot of artists that's doing that. And that's doing a great job at doing that. So yeah, everybody come up. You know, Detroit always come up with style. So that's our new style that we got going on. So you got Babytron and a bunch of artists like that, killing that style.
That's killing that style.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's funny because I think I was listening to the Joe Budden podcast one day. They had some rapper on there from Detroit, and I think somehow they came up about the conversation about shades, and I guess shades, a certain type of shades are a big thing from Detroit.
Oh, Cardi's.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Cardi's. Yeah, those the woods.
All right.
So you got the wood is representing the side, the wood. So those are vintage Cardi's. Yeah. Those are hard to get.
Yeah.
So then they got the buffs. Now those buffs.
I think that's what I heard of. Yeah.
Elephant tusk on those. So that's an elephant tusk.
Wow.
So those are very rare. They're very expensive. So these expensive those, and then they got the wires. Now the wires is just the wire. You see how they got the wire around there? It's just wire. It's
called the starter kit.
Yeah, that's the starter kit. So those are the. Now Cardis don't really fit my face. I got my face kind of round, so I don't do the Cardis. But Jay been wearing Cardis since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I guess
For
so,
sure.
be it. If you the little brother to Slum Village, I guess you doing all right too.
Yes.
Even before you start producing, it's just like, hey man, let me get these glasses real quick, man. You ain't gonna wear them to the show.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, his dad was famous. His dad was RJ's latest arrival, the old school '80s group. So, so he was already in the music business before he was in the music business.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing, man. Well, I definitely appreciate learning all this about you. And yesterday I got the chance to really sit and talk with Deshaun Jones, who is going to be who's a composer, conductor of the Urban Art Orchestra. And I heard y'all playing, and it just sounded amazing. And what's so cool is that I know y'all have performed these songs millions of times, but I was peeping in, I saw y'all just chilling. Y'all saying it laid back because you know you conserving your energy. But when I see that you got that many drummers that are making this banging sound at the same time, and then the fact that you got the DJ doing like that, they take down, vroom, and then you hear the violins. It's like, come on, man.
Yes. It's gonna be a beautiful time tonight. We're gonna have a great show. Only thing else I want to say is we got an album coming soon.
Yes.
It's coming in March. Yeah, right? It's called, the name of the album is called Fun, but it's F.U.N.
What that sound like?
The album's called Fun. It's called Fun because I'm laughing because I don't even want to say what it means. But it's F.U. niggas. It's really this name of our album.
Right. Word.
So you think it is fun,
Right.
But it really, and it is, but it is fun, but at the same time, we saying F you because we just doing what we want to do. So this album was kind of inspired by disco music, believe it or not.
Really?
And we got a song called To the Disco. You'll check it out. We got some crazy songs on there. This album, I'm excited. I'm so excited.
Comes out
we
in
got some
March.
crazy, yeah.
Okay.
And we just dropped our single Requests. So yeah, we having a good time right now.
Okay, you have a good time.
Yes.
I was gonna tell him about the response when he asks, "How do you feel?" You know, like when you going in to create, are you trying to please? And if you listen to the new single that we dropped called Requests, the hook is "Fuck your requests. We give you what you need. We don't care about what you asking for. We're going to do what we want to do, and we're going to give you what you need. That's it. You catch up when you catch up. You like it, or you'll catch up to it down the line.
Right. You dictate what's going to happen. You don't let anybody else dictate.
Nah, we setting the climate.
Right.
All greatest artists do that.
Yeah.
You know, Kendrick Lamar, you don't know what he gonna come up with. You just do not know.
And
you know what I'm saying? And that's cool. And sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. You know what I'm saying? But when it works, it works.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, that is interesting because, and we don't have to go too far off on a tangent with this next topic, but I'm thinking about the recent back and forth between Drake and Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def. And have you?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so you
and
know,
he called him. He said Drake is pop.
Right, because she asked him, "Is he hip hop?" And he said he's pop. He didn't say that he isn't hip hop. He just said that he's pop. And I think that I know I'm biased about who I think is right or wrong. So I lean more into what Mos is saying, but I think that that's very interesting because when I hear y'all dropping an album and people, whatever their idea of a Slum Village is, if they hear a song on there that seeks to grab another audience, that tries a different sound, then it's like, if you try a different sound, are you selling out? And I'm thinking about all this conversation. So I want to, with you being excited about this album coming out, not doing it for the money per se, but also knowing that you stand to do well. If the album does well, do you ever have that conflict where it's like, we want to continue to grow our audience, even though we have our core fans, we want to get more fans. However, we also don't want to upset the day ones. So how do you do that in a authentic way instead of doing it in a way where it's like, man,
Okay.
he over here rapping on some EDM. That's
Here's
not Slum.
here's the way you do that. This is our approach, at least. What you do is you work with younger people. That is what you do. People that you like that's younger than you, that brings a whole new essence. So what you do is you bring in a new audience in by bringing a fresh take of what you do. So with Slum Village, we always, even when Jay was young, we brought young, so we bringing it, making it fresh and still, I'm gonna keep the Slum Village vibe. I'm the anchor. So when you bring the freshness in, you taking it to somewhere else without trying too hard to dictate what the climate is. You know what I'm saying? So you might bring in somebody young that's a Slum Village fan. Right. You know what I'm saying? Gotcha. But whereas it's a take of it, but it ain't the same. That's my approach, at least. That's what I think.
I'm assuming the question was about Drake and
That's
with him
that's
saying
where it
hip hop,
started, and it
right?
came back to y'all. But go ahead.
Okay, so my thing is this: when you're talking about hip hop, the elements, breaking, DJing, graffiti, you know what I'm saying, and then people got knowledge of self. You know, it all depends on who you talk to. MCing, but that came later. DJing and beatboxing. So the thing is this: people they was taking rock breaks. You know what I'm saying? They was taking stuff from everywhere. So is that selling out if you go get a rock break that was big? Or a disco break?
Or R&B break?
Right. It's whatever it is. It's the approach that you take. If you listen to Scary Hours, Drake is rapping at a high level.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He rapping. So
is.
I'm assuming that, most is referring to as a whole what people know him for. Mm-hmm. The one dances, the songs like that is in that's wrapping him up into this pop. Yeah.
Right.
But if you're talking about rapping, the art of rapping at a high level, he is rapping at a high level.
Got you.
Yeah, and to add to that, I would say that too. I mean, Drake is technically both. Technically.
Yeah.
Technically he's both.
He is.
He's super pop and he hip hop at the same time. Right. So he technically both.
Got it.
Yeah, then.
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I think, and to wrap up this part, I'll just say that I think that if Drake goes too hard at Yasin, I think most might come back. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Well, you know what? I really have enjoyed this conversation with you. I think both of you are truly important hip-hop heroes to the entire culture. I'm glad that you're going to represent Detroit tonight. I'm glad that you're going to represent for J Dilla. Looking forward to hearing Jessica care more. And just one last thing before we go, can you just tell us about what it's been like working with Orlando Watson, the senior director of programming of the August Wilson Center?
Let me say this. I love the brother. He's very intense. He gets the job done. And I respect that.
He's thorough.
Because with music and with all those pieces that he got going on, you got to be like that. So much respect to him, and we just happy he was one of the ones to put it together. You know what I'm saying? Because he's doing a great job. That's what I got to say.
I mean, he handled his business. I ain't got nothing but good things to say about him. Trying to coordinate all of these people in the orchestra, plus Slum Village, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
So for him to be able to do it and do it smooth without dropping the ball, that's what you call a real coordinator. That's the real MVP of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Word. Well, thank you very much for this interview. I really appreciate it. Just so that y'all know, they have an album coming out called FUN, and we talked about what that stands for. It's going to come out in March of this year. Thank you very much. This has been another interview with your homie, Devin Zoolander. And remember, stay moisturized and mind your business. That's all. Just mind your business. All right. Peace. There you go. All right.
That was good.
Yep. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Oh, this is amazing. I can't wait to see it, man, because Tainted, I'm going to be jamming in the back, man.
Oh, no, it's about to go down.